Hey everybody, today I'm going to do a little bit of a training video to show you how I do content audits. I'm going to make this as simple as I possibly can. The three tools I'm going to be using are Google Analytics, Ahrefs, and this is the free Webmaster tools version of Ahrefs. Because this just came to my knowledge. It kind of sparked this whole thing for me to do this video and show you how to do it with Excel and basically all free tools. The one paid tool that I am going to use is ScreamingFrog. Theoretically, if you had less than 500 crawled URLs, you could use the free version and do the exact same thing here. So I'm just going to kind of go through my my method, and I'm going to show you how I do a content audit to find low value thin content pages, or pages that haven't had any traffic in a long time, and go through, identify them, and make suggestions about whether updating them or removing them, etc. So I'm just going to hop into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, if you've never checked out the Ahrefs Webmaster tools, it's pretty darn cool. It gives you a lot of the features of the regular Ahrefs. You do have to have Search Console access to set this up. But anyways, once you're in here, you can, it's a little bit tricky. They kind of hide this area from you, but if you click on like the backlinks area, if you've ever been in used Ahrefs, the paid version, this will look very similar. But for your website, you want to go down and you want to find the best by links, and you're going to want to export this. And I do the full export, and this is really cool because it's giving you all this data that before you would have had to use the ScreamingFrog API through, or the API for Ahrefs through ScreamingFrog to kind of get all this. And then the second thing, so yeah, export, I've already done this just to make things cleaner. So once the export's done, you're going to go up here to this little bell, or this little icon here. It looks like almost like a folder icon or file icon, and you're just going to want to download it and then open it up with Excel. And the second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into Google Analytics, find the property that you want, and you want to go over to acquisition. Click on all traffic. My apologies. It's behavior, site content, and landing pages. And then because we're doing a content audit, we're going to want to see how much traffic we've had for like a given year. So I've already preset this. Normally it's going to be like a 5-day range or something, but you're going to want to do about a year. So just to change it, do a year and 2 days, click apply. And I usually go down here and I select the max. This website's not too big. And then you're going to want to export this as well. And I normally export it as a CSV. You could probably export it as a Excel file and have the same results. The last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use ScreamingFrog SEO Spider to do a crawl. And I pre-crawled this, so you don't have to sit there. You just type in the URL, click start, and it will run through the crawl process. And when you're done, you're going to want to go through and export it again. Save it, open it up in Excel, also open up your analytics data in Excel. And we're going to hop over to Excel, and I'm going to kind of show you how I string all these things together. And we're going to do it with VLOOKUPs. So just to save time, I've already imported all three data sets, the Ahrefs one, the Google Analytics one, and the ScreamingFrog Crawl. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my data on one set. So I'm going to make a couple more tabs, and I'm just going to rename the second one Analytics. Third one, ScreamingFrog. And I'm just going to go over to these other properties and Control A. Might be a little bit different on a Mac here, but I'm just going to select the whole value range, copy it, and paste it. Sorry, wrong workbook.
It's okay.
And my cell phone picked that up. Too bad there's no marketing budget or no video budget to edit that out. But again, go through, highlight and select everything. So there's our whole data set for ScreamingFrog. Just double checking. And thank you for bearing with me. So I'm going to copy and paste that in here. And unfortunately, the formatting's a little bit off. And I'm going to pause the video and see if I can clean that up. So not perfect, but I was able to clean it up. So this is where you get into a little bit of an issue with the address formatting, because we're going to end up doing some VLOOKUPs here to pull in data based off of the URL slug. So you can see we have a full URL here. And on the analytics side, it just shows the landing page URL slug. So we're going to have to get those to match. And I'm just going to clean up a little bit of what's going on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust a couple items here because I need to get this page URL into the A column. So I'm just going to paste those values over there and move the URL into the first column. And this is a little bit of a tedious process, but I'm going through it real time. And what I found here, it's going to be on a website here, found.co.uk. They have a cheat sheet for some Excel functions. So this one is to get the URL, get a URL path from URL in Google Analytics format. So we're going to copy and paste this, and we're going to convert our Ahrefs data in Excel as well as our ScreamingFrog data into that analytics format. So I'm going to copy and paste that value in. And it did not work the first time, of course, when I'm doing the video. Probably should have used a so we had an extra character there. Boom. See how it stripped all the parameters there? Or the whole URL slug. And what I'm going to do here, so there's no conflict with the HTTP versus the HTTPS, I'm just going to delete this since this redirects to the preferred version. And one other thing I'm going to do just to be safe is I'm going to select the column because I see another HTTP address in here, and I don't want to run into any issues with two of the same values. Okay, so my function on Excel is different. So find and replace is a little bit different. I'm gonna have to look this up, so I'm gonna pause the video again. Thanks for bearing with me. I'll be back in a quick second. Okay, so I found the find and replace. So I'm just gonna type in the first part for HTTP // I don't want any of the HTTP files in here, like I said, because I can see down here there's two with the same URL slug where they redirect. So we're gonna replace all those with a blank here. And unfortunately that did not work correctly. So what I'm going to do is go back and I'm going to try adding a wildcard after this, which is the little like star button. And we're going to click replace all again. And boom, they're gone. So that worked. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to ScreamingFrog and we're going to do the same thing. Insert columns. So we're going to go back to that equation that we found for converting everything into analytics data. We're going to paste it in here. Hopefully this works this time. No, it adds that little character. Okay, we're back in business. And going to add that for all of those values. And I'm just going to remove the ones with the root domain. And one thing I'm going to want to do here is because it's an equation dependent, I'm going to want to copy the whole column and I'm going to want to paste it back in as values. And that'll strip the formatting. So when I delete this, there's no errors. Now, I guess I could just show you real quick why I'm going to do it on this other one. And I forgot to click and have those go away. So what I'm going to do here is copy this page URL over. And same thing, I'm going to highlight the column. And I'm just going to paste it back in there. And I'm going to delete the column. And that's exactly why you want to make sure you paste the values back in. So I made a mistake. So hopefully second time it works. So we're good there. And I wish there was an easy way to just delete these rows here. This isn't too big of a site, so I'm just gonna pause the video and I'm going to delete them real quick. I probably could do this without it, but I'd rather just get them off of there so I don't have any issues in the next part. So I'm gonna manually delete it. So I realized I made a little bit of an error there. Rather than going through and trying to manually delete those, I could have just went over here to filter, taken the page URL, went to filter, and found that hashtag value from the HTTP pages that I removed and just removed it from there. And what I'm going to do again is I'm just going to copy and paste all this. Copy and paste this entire worksheet. I guess I'll just paste it into a new doc and then I won't have to worry about the filter hanging around there. So that was the Ahrefs, and I'm just going to rename this filtered And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working off of the Screaming Frog. Off of the Screaming Frog workbook here. And I'm just going to insert a couple columns because we're going to do a VLOOKUP. I wish that wouldn't resize like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Ahrefs, and just so it's easier, I'm going to move this redirect. Or sorry, not the redirects. I want the do follow links because we're going to see how many backlinks we have on every page and compare it to the word count as well as the sessions for the last year. So we just moved the do follow links over into the first column or the B column here. So we're going to do a VLOOKUP equals VLOOKUP. You can just hit the tab and it'll keep it in there. We're going to be looking for this value here, and we're going to do a comma, and we're going to go over to the Ahrefs sheet, and we're going to do values A and B, and I can keep my function up here, and I'm going to want to click comma, and we're going to want to pull the value from number 2 here. So it's 1, 2. So we're going to put a 2 in here. And then we're going to do a comma. And we're at the range lookup. So we're going to type in false. While that's up there, you can hit tab. Not sure why that went the back way. And hopefully this works. And yes, it did. So 317. And we'll auto-populate that. So 317 matches up. So we know we're good there. We know we're good there. So I'm just going to copy the do follow into here. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to go over to analytics. And we're going to get the sessions data. I'm just going to copy the value in here first so I know what I'm looking at. And with the sessions data, again, we're going to do another VLOOKUP. And we're going to look for A2. We're going to try and match the home page to start. And we're going to look in cells A and B again. You could do, if I were, for example, to do like cell F, you do cell F. And then this next part where you come up here and you put the comma, you're literally just counting over how many rows you want it to go to. So if it was F, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So instead of me putting a 2 here, you put a 6 here. And then it's always going to be false at the end. So you select the column you want and then false, because false is it's an exact match. It's not a partial match, or I don't even know what the other one is. They guess. I've never used it. So we're going to hit enter, and hopefully this works again. Messed something up. So we'll try this one more time. Granted, it never goes as you would hope when you are doing it live or doing it in real time. So we're doing A and B. So actually, I'm going to Okay, we're going back to here, and I'm just going to clean everything out here. Okay, so I'm just starting over. You look up A2 analytics field. Want these. Boom. Second row. Boom. False. I think something might be going on with that there. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to double check to make sure it pulled the right value. 2,188. So, yep, we are good. So we can look at all of our sessions. And in this instance too, I'm going to just copy this and paste it back in as values like we've done before. So if I change anything here, or if I change anything on the other pages, it weren't to affect this. So the function should be stripped. And what I'm going to do here is, since there's this NA, I'm assuming that's 0. I'm just going to go and do another find and replace. Those search options. So we're going to replace, and we're going to find the hashtag NA. We're going to replace it with a 0. And we're going to replace all there. So maybe I hit that twice, but we can see the zeros pop up. And I guess I'll just left align everything in these so they look the same. So kind of the next part to this would be going in and just finding out what pages have traffic, what pages don't have traffic. And usually what I do is I start going through and I start hiding columns. I like to leave the indexability column. And I'm actually going to just go through and hide everything but the word count here. You can always unhide these and come back to them and do different things. So word count. I'm going to hide the last of the columns. And this is really what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for pages with basically no traffic. So I'm going to filter. I'm going to filter my document so I can sort and have everything move correctly. So I'm going to filter the sessions, and I'm going to sort descending to ascending. Okay, so there are some of them where there was not the session. So this makes sense that the terms of service, the sitemap, the privacy policy, these wouldn't have direct organic hits, but these are important pages on the website. If we scroll down, everything you need to know about runners. Clearly, this page doesn't get a lot of traffic, and we have a year's worth of data that we're looking at. So these are sessions. It doesn't have any backlinks. So this is probably a item that we would look at the content individually, and we would make a decision about whether to update it or remove it. And this is really a simple website right here. So this is not overly complex. But if you get into like a large website, even just moderately large, even like 600-700 pages, you're oftentimes going to have low value content pages, just stragglers, things that have no business being indexed at all, hanging around. So that's definitely worth going in and looking at. But outside of that, pretty much here I'd make a column like, I don't know, I'll call it what to do. And I probably have some conditional formatting, and I would say go by one again, look at it, keep, or we'll say this, keep, update, remove, something like that. And you go through and just take a look at where everything's at. And the reason I do have the word, I should mention this, that I do have the word count on here, is because if you have no visits like this, like to this gallery page, and there's only 182 words, if this were a actual like content blog post for an entire year to only have 56 sessions, then you would possibly maybe want to delete that page, or again say needs improvement, so you can identify it here. And this is just a really cool way to get the Ahrefs data, to get your Google Analytics data, and just match it up without having to use the ScreamingFrog APIs. You may not have it. Some clients don't want to allow third-party tools to use to link to their search console or their tool or whatever. So this is just something that I thought was really cool. I'm sure there's many more ways to go about using this. So just wanted to share some of the knowledge that I had gained, and hopefully this helps somebody out. Okay, take care, guys.